Good morning, everyone. December 31. I thought I would end the year with a video. I know I look a mess. I haven't taken a shower this morning. It's in the mid-40s. It's dead calm here on the Eagle. Dead calm here on the Eagle. We really got quite a few people here at the Eagle. My partner's son, Aaron, came in last night. I guess he's going to ring in the new year here at the Eagle, which is a perfect place to do it. I got a hit. I think it was a hit. Maybe it wasn't. But my buddy Larry Sissel's here with his grandson, Nick. We're actually working on the dock. You can see right there, we've got some boards that have rotted out. Those are treated lumber, and they should not ever do that. That should not have ever happened. But they've rotted out on top, and so we're having to put some boards down. I bought some 2x8s. 2x8s, that's all. And they're $18 and something a piece. $18 and something a piece. That we're going. God, it's a big one. God, it's a big one. Oh, he come off. Golly. Oh my gosh. He came off, just pulled off. Just barely hooked. God, that was unbelievable. I'm in the grass now. He goes right in the edge of the grass. I'm throwing way out there and he come in. And I tell you, Larry and Sissel's down there with his grandson Nick, and they're helping me fix the dock there, get that thing repaired so nobody will fall through. It'll be dangerous. And they're up duck hunting. They're up in the upper end of the creek. I heard them firing away this morning at daylight. It's a little after daylight actually right now. And then my Mike Devine, who works for our production company, Mike shot a lot of video for me over the years, edited a lot of the shows, and does all the closed captioning on the show. He does all of that. I don't know if that's a fish or not. No, I guess it was. Look, that's a fish right there. I got that one. And but so that's a little bitty guy. I got one just about jerked me out of the boat, and then I throw back out there and catch this one. But it is dead calm. I tell you what I did. I'm gonna just be 100% honest what I did here. That's actually the fourth bass that I've caught right there, and that's the smallest one of the four. I came down here. That's a nice, pretty fish, a couple pounds. He ate that jig. That jig is gone. Look at that down in his mouth. And got a Lucky Strike jig on there. The barb cut off of it. That's a good fish. But it is dead calm down here. Chris and I went out on our anniversary dinner last night. We went over here to a local casino that has an IHOP, and we went there for the IHOP. But actually, we went over there, and I told Chris, I said, you want to play some machines? And so she did, and there's another one. There's a bunch of fish out there. And I put $100 in her machine. I sat there and played with her for a while, and she fooled around, and she had it down to about $80. And so I stuck $100 in the machine that I was sitting on. The machine she was sitting on was had some kind of fish on it. I got one that said Spy versus Spy. And those machines are so complicated now, I don't really know. I really don't know how to play them. They got a lot on them. The Spy versus Spy was kind of easy to understand. And I put $100 in it. Long story short, we fooled around there. And we've gone down there to eat pancakes. That's really what we went for. But they're hitting it before it ever hits the bottom. Before it ever hits the bottom. I mean, before it ever hits the bottom. But anyway, I had $200 and some change in my machine. She got hers, had $90 and some change. She said, I'm ready to eat. I said, let's go eat. We're ahead. And so we cashed that $290 in, so we're $9 ahead. We went and had breakfast. Now, we're not out there late. We went at 5 o'clock, so we had breakfast about 8 o'clock, pancakes and eggs and bacon and ham and hash browns. And oh, man, that's a better one. Not a giant, but it's a better one. And I'm gonna go down here to land it. Come here. That's a good way to break a rod. Looky there. Look at that one, will you? Nice 4.5 pounder. Well, maybe 4 1/4. Pretty close to 5. And but anyway, we had a big breakfast. We were back here at the ranch We're back here at the bench about 9:30. That's how we, but that was a great, fantastic anniversary right there. 58 years. That's a great anniversary we had there. It was just as fantastic as you could possibly imagine. And we didn't have a big steak dinner. We didn't party a whole lot. We only played the machines for maybe an hour. But that's about right for Chris. She has that, and she had a ball with that. And how many is that? 3 or 4 more that I've caught. But I walked down here to dock because it's just dead calm. It's beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. And I walked down here, and I made a cast and didn't catch one. And I made 3 straight casts. So I went up, and Chris is awake now. She was asleep when I walked down here. And I told her, I said, honey, I made 4 casts and caught 3 fish. She said, oh my gosh. And I said, I'm going to run down there and set my tripod up, and I'm not even going to hook up microphones because it's dead calm. Hook my tripod up and just shoot a little video to end the year, to end 2021. 2021 has been a great year for a lot of people. It's been a horrendous year for a lot of people. It's been a struggle for Chris and I. You know that. But I'm so excited. I caught 6 fish, and I've made really not many more casts than that. And that one I lost was a huge fish, I promise you. I'd have probably had to get down there and lay down on my belly to get him. But anyway. And she said, well, go down there. And so I said, you be okay? And she said that she would. And so she's awake, just laying there watching television. And I thought I'd come down here and mess around. We're supposed to have, he was way in close. We're supposed to have close to 70 degrees today. Maybe something like, it's a little one. This is a little guy. He's afraid to be out there in that 20-foot water. He's afraid to be out there in that 20-foot water. He's afraid one of those big ones will eat him. Yeah, he's afraid one of those big ones will eat him. It's a pretty nice fish, though. It's 15 inches long. But some good sugar early this morning. I gave Chris a big kiss right before I came down. I told him, I said, honey, I just want to go down there for a few minutes and shoot a little video. And I'm throwing out there as far as I can, about 20 foot of water. I'm moving, letting my reel handle there, and then feed out a little line, let it go down. One of my Blaze Series rods, 6'9". I like the 6'9" better. I do the 7.3. A lot of people love 7.3s. I like the 6'9". Hopefully we'll have a bunch of these rods available. It's just been the most exasperating thing. We've been 2 years working on them, but they're the best. They're retail $59.95. They're the best buy in the fishing rod marketplace. You'd expect to pay $200 for this rod and reel. There's another one. This is absolutely amazing. There's no telling how many bass there are out there in that school, but it's dead calm. We're supposed to get a little rain maybe tonight and tomorrow night. Sunday morning it's supposed to be 14 degrees. It's what's forecast is 14 degrees. And then in the 20s, chill temperature down in the teens. It's a pretty nice fish right there. Chill temperature down in the teens. And just absolutely, golly, he swallowed that jig. You think they don't want that Lucky Strike jig? Look at that. Look in that fish's mouth. I mean, it's down there. It's down there. He ate it. Woo-hoo-hoo. That's another nice, good 4-pound fish right there. Nice, beautiful 4-pound bass. Hear that gunshot? Hear that gunshot? That's Larry and Nick. They're up there hunting. All right, I've run this thing, looks like 9 minutes. I'm gonna turn it off and then move down just a little bit, see if I can catch them down there in that open spot and turn it back on again. I'm not gonna quit right now. How many is that? Y'all counting? I'd caught 3 earlier, and I think that's 6. I think that's 9. All right, I'll move this camera a little bit. I don't know if I can reach that fish from right here. Reach those fish from right here or not. I probably can. I may have to move back over in that other spot. I'm not sure I can reach them. But this is just absolutely amazing. Some of those fish have hit that thing before it ever hit the bottom. They're out there in about 20 foot of water, which, we have some 55-foot water down around the dam. There's probably some fish down around there. These fish are schooled because of shatter in this area right here. And they're out there in 20 foot. We're supposed to have 40 and 50 mile an hour north winds come in on this front. today should be the last pretty day we have for a while, but I think it's forecast to get back up in the 50s and 60s again next week. It's just absolutely the mildest December we've ever had in Oklahoma. I heard them say the warmest December we ever had. Last year we had minus 14 degrees for like 3 or 4 days, and we had 2 or 3 7-inch snows, and they were blaming that on global warming. And now we've had the warmest December in history, and we're blaming it on global warming. They think that man can control the weather. Can I tell you? The man controls the weather. Yeah, the man that created the weather in the first place. I didn't reach those fish, but I got about halfway back to the boat and got another bite. There's just a lot of fish out there. That's a pretty nice fish right there. That one's pulling like a dog. That's number 10, I think. I'm not sure if I'm counting right. Some of y'all probably counting. I might be 1 or 2 off. If I'm off, I'm probably off on the big side. She's just fat. If I get them over here for this opening. I got this opening in the dock so the kids can swim. And again, I love it when they get it down like that. That means that there's a lot of fish out there when they're eating it like that. That's another beautiful 4-pound plus fish. And get that jig out. Barbless hooks. And you notice I've only lost 1 fish. It was the biggest one. But I've only lost 1 fish. And I'm not quite reaching where where the school is out there, but I probably brought the school in a little closer to the dock. You do that a lot of times when you're in schools. If you're fishing in a boat and you're sitting on spot lock, or you're sitting on a power pole, or something where you're I don't think that was a fish. I just got goosey. You know, every time something feels a little funny, I want to jerk. When in doubt, whip it out. That's the deal. When in doubt, whip it out. But that wasn't a bite. There's a little bit of brush out there, and there's a little bit of gravel out there, and that's what those fish are on. Those shad are around that brush and gravel, and those bass are around it. And it is just dead calm. Look at this lake. It's just so gorgeous out here. It's amazing. And I couldn't help but come down here and make a few casts. The clouds are beginning to come in. This is, I guess, a forerunner of that front. We've got a little warm moisture coming up from the south. Not a lot, but a little bit. And another fish. And I think this makes a dozen. I'm trying to count them as I catch them, but I think this makes a dozen. But that front's going to come barreling in. It's an Arctic blast coming in from the north. It's going to be devastating. I mean, we have chill temperatures way below 0 in lots of Oklahoma. I'm in the very southern part of Oklahoma. We're not very far from the Texas border. Get out from under that dock. Get out from under that dock. And they're all just gorgeous, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful bass. You notice that when I unhook fish, I don't have to like hit it with my hand like a lot of them do. That's a cool deal. I like to see that move. But I don't have to do that because I got barbless hooks. You see this right here? I don't know if you can see it, but see, I can bring my finger there and it just slides down. It's smooth as a baby's butt. Yep, just smooth as it can be. So I have no barb. If you fish that way, if you're going to release your fish, you really need to fish with barbless hooks. For one thing, it's much safer. If you get a hook in your body, it just comes right out. You know, you don't have to use a fishing line trick or anything like that. Now, I wouldn't do this in a tournament unless the tournament rules provided for that. And I think that all the tournaments should be barbless hook tournaments. I think that BASS and Major League Fishing and FLW will eventually go to barbless hooks. I think that'll be the next big advancement in bass fishing. Is this awesome or what? I mean, this is about as awesome as it can get. I mean, they're just like fish after fish after fish. Every single cast almost. I made 1 or 2 casts. I hadn't caught any, but that's about it. And I caught 3 before Ooh, that's a nice one. I wish I could show them to you out there in the water. I don't know that I can. I might be able to pick my tripod up and I'll drop my phone in the lake. Liable to fall off of that thing. They're jumping and carrying on just like it's summertime. I'm gonna point down that way. I don't know. I don't have a clue if I'm pointing at the fish or not. I'm just pointing it down that way. I guess I could turn it down or something. This is a big one. Oh, he come off perfect. I'm glad I showed you that one. You would never believed I had one, would you? Perfect. I'm gonna make one. I made a cast in a row. I made. Was that, what was that? 12 or 13? 12? I'm gonna say it's 12. No. I think it was 13. 13. Yeah, it's 13. 13. I'm gonna change the camera angle just a little bit. Set it up. Point it down the water a little bit and see. We can see those fish in the water because I like to see them in the water. This is absolutely amazing. I think that was some of that brush I just touched there. But they're taking it so deep that the plastic worm might be gut hooking some of them even with that jig. They you don't hardly get it clear down in their throat. That's one thing a lot of times if you're fishing with a plastic worm, and particularly if you got somebody that is not real experienced and they're letting a few fish swallow it, go ahead and just put a jig on. Put a jig on with a worm trailer. It could be an actual worm trailer, 3, 4, 5-inch worm trailer. Put a jig on with a trailer on it, and for one thing, the hook is on the jig as opposed to down in the worm, so that head of that worm will get way down in there, and the hook is even further down, and you have a lot less fish swallow the hook, and you're going to catch quite a bit anyway. Okay, I've changed the camera angle up there quite a bit. I moved it, and all I'm doing is throwing as far as I can throw out toward that tree out there. I don't know if you can see the tree out there through it. I got the camera pointing down toward the water. I'm throwing out there and letting it go all the way to the bottom and just working that on the bottom, and there's just a lot of fish out there. There's a big giant school of fish out there. I don't know how many are in that school. There's at least 13 because that's how many I've caught. And I'm sure there's probably some more out there because there's still, I have missed a cast or two, but not many. I've got a bite on almost every cast. I have missed a fish or two. I missed a strike or two. And I probably jerked a time or two when there wasn't really a fish on there. But I'm not sure that I can reach that school. I'm not sure I can reach that school good from here. And down there I can get just a little bit further out there. But I've caught a couple of the smaller ones up closer to the dock. I sure didn't get a bite on that cast, or at least I didn't get a bite way out there. Let's see if I get a little bit closer if I can get a bite. Yep, I can. Oh, it's a big one too. Oh, it's a big one too. I may have to lay down on the dock to get this one. He might not be as big as he acts, but he took off like he was gonna break my line. I've only got 15-pound high seas Grand Slam line on here. I don't know what kind of line you're using, but give Grand Slam high seas Grand Slam a chance to buy a spool and try it, and I'll guarantee you, oh, he come off. It wasn't a giant. He was about 4 pounds. Did y'all see him jump? Could y'all see him out there or not? I don't really know, but we may put some of that line on our website so you can give it a try, because it's not available everywhere. But you can buy it in a lot of places. But give some of it a try. It's an inexpensive line, but it is absolutely, it's fantastic. I mean, it's just absolutely fantastic. It's probably the most popular line in saltwater. That's just how tough it is. And high seas Grand Slam. It's the way the prices are going up on everything nowadays, it'll save you some money. Just give it a try. Put it on a couple of your rod and reel and see what I think. I promise you, you'll move to high seas. Promise you. And save some money at the same time that you can buy Red Man spinnerbaits with. I'm not quite reaching where the big bunch of the fish is, but I've got them kind of scattered out down there. I got some of them closer to the dock because they've been following it in. They'll follow it in sometimes. I haven't seen another fish following, but sometimes they'll follow those and you'll actually pull them in closer to you. And it seems like that the fish aren't quite as large. Pretty much. Seems like the fish aren't quite as large up here closer than they are out further. Now, I want you to look at this fish right here. He's hooked just right. See this right here? This is an old, well, he's wound in there. That's an old deal right there on his lip. You see that right here on his lip right here? That's an old deal where he's hooked before. And it actually ripped his lip pretty good, but you can see he's a big, beautiful, healthy bass. Catch and release, that's what it amounts to right there. Might be the second sugar. I probably didn't hook that fish that bad. But that's just, get out there, and I want to let that line, I want to let it go down right where it hits. It was actually just a little bit further, about another 10 foot that I can reach from that other end of the dock. It's about another 10 foot, gets to the prime spot. That's pretty prime where I'm throwing. I need to get back up there. I told Chris I wouldn't be but a few minutes, and I've probably been 20 minutes down here or longer. But what an incredible deal. I kind of thought the wind would start blowing pretty quickly. I think it's going to blow out of the south and then turn around and blow back out of the north. And when it comes to the north, it's going to get brutal. But now I'm sure the barometer's dropping. I believe that was a fish. I took it away from it. I'm not concentrating on my fishing enough. I'm doing all this talking. I imagine the barometer's dropping right now with that front coming in, even though it's not going to be here till tonight. It's going to get close to 70 degrees today. Probably won't quite make 70 with the cloud cover that's coming in. The northern part of Oklahoma is going to get snow, and we got a chance for ice down here. And we actually have an inch of rain forecast over Friday night, tonight, and Saturday, New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. I'll be doing my New Year's celebration right here at the ranch. I will not have to worry about drunk drivers. They call them amateur drinkers out there tonight. People that only drink maybe once a year, they do it on this day right here. I will not be drinking anything but maybe Coke Zero, maybe a little Turbo Power energy drink to get me through till midnight. Turbo Power. This is exciting, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Wall-to-wall fish. It's slowing down out there, so I thinned that school down. I mean, I don't know. You know, when you say a big school, it could have 20 or 25 bass in it. It could have 50. But, you know, a big school of bass of this size is 20 or 25 fish, you know. I mean, that's a pretty good sized school. When we find them on our live scope, our Garmin live scope, we very seldom find, you know, 50 and 100 fish. We do that occasionally, but mostly you find schools of 15, 20 fish. Come here, baby. Come here, baby. Your beamer barking. Larry may be coming back from fishing. I got that fish in the grass. I got her out of the grass. That fish, I thought that fish was bigger than that. There's nothing wrong with that fish. But just a big, healthy, oh, look how fat he is. Big, healthy 3-pounder. A little bit over 3, maybe. Just a beauty. Yeah, that's probably Larry coming back from fishing. Yeah, beauty. Woo! I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Somebody's up there. It could be Apache. Apache could be showing up. How many is that? Is that 16? 16? All right. I ought to throw my mimic imitator out there. I think I'll grab my mimic. Oh, I got a bite there while it was falling. Thump, while it was falling. I mean, it hadn't fallen but about 10 foot. I'm gonna grab a mimic impersonator, not imitator, impersonator. It works either way. Call it whatever you want. I think I'm gonna grab it and throw it out there. Not a big guy, but not bad. Not bad at all. Pretty nice fish. Okay, y'all don't run off. I'm gonna grab my mimic impersonator and make a few throws with it. Okay, I'm gonna make 1 or 2 throws out there with this impersonator. I'm not gonna make many. I can't quite throw it as far as I threw that jig. I'm gonna throw it out there and let her drop down a little bit, but I can't quite get it down there. The fish are mostly on the bottom at 20 feet deep, so I'm not sure it'll get down there. I'm not gonna make but a couple of throws with it, but I just gotta try. So I'm gonna let it fall. Yeah, thought for a second it'd foul. It'll usually fall really good and not foul up. Occasionally it'll foul up, but not very often. I'll try to get that bait down there a little deeper. I'm not quite reaching the fish. I didn't quite reach the fish with that cast. I'm only gonna make a couple throws with it here and check. They're gonna have to bite it pretty quick, or I'm gonna pick that jig back up. The fish are, that one that, of course he was about the smallest one I've caught, but that one that hit it falling, it probably wasn't but about 10 foot down when that fish hit it. He hit it pretty quickly. Because I'm letting that drop all the way to the bottom before I'm starting to work it. I'll go ahead and wind this thing back in. I'm gonna make 1 more cast with it. That's all. I'm throwing that half-ounce jig about 10 foot further than that. About 10 foot further. I'm just gonna let it fall and hold it. And the main reason I want to do that is if one bites it while it's falling, I want to catch him. Okay. Takes a lot longer to get that bait all the way to the bottom. And I don't want it all the way on the bottom anyway. I want to see if they'll come up and bite it. I think I have something on it. I think this is a fouled up cast. Better get that Lucky Strike jig back out there. I think I got grass or something on it. It's not wiggling like it should. There it is. Most of this cast is bad. I had picked up a little piece of grass or something on it. All right, I'm gonna go back to the jig for a couple throws and then I'm gonna quit. All right, guys and girls, I'm back. Where was I anyway on this thing? 17, 16? Oh yeah, that's a little bit further out there. Gained it about 10 foot further, and that makes a big difference because a lot of the fish have come. And yeah, I'm letting her fall all the way to the bottom. That's the key to those fish are just not wanting to come off the bottom. A lot of the guys around here in Oklahoma right now are having some trouble with catching fish with the Garmin Live Scope because their fish are so glued to the bottom. Here in Arbuckle Lake, which is right here close by me, one that we caught 1187 out of a couple years ago, the fish are not suspended yet. They're hung to the bottom, and they're more difficult to see on the bottom now. If you get real good with that scope, you can see them on the bottom. And the crappie have moved down to 62 feet out there, 62 feet deep. They're catching a ton of them on jigging spoons, but 62 feet deep. They were about 40, so they moved down about 20 feet, even with this warm weather we've been having. Well, now I can't even get a bite on a jig. You know, I probably just about caught all of them that are gonna bite in that school. There might be 1 or 2 big ones laying out there, or even a few little ones that just don't want to bite. But that was I might have used up my rabbit's foot out there. "17 fish is a lot of fish, a lot of fish." I think that's where I am. I might not be there. I don't know. Might only be 16. I thought I would fish till the wind began blowing, but I got to get up there and get Chris up out of bed and get her dressed and feed her breakfast. Let her enjoy the last day of 2021. So proud to have her here with me. I might bring her down here and let her see what these things feel like. She's caught a jillion big bass. But you never get tired of this. You never get tired of this. And I've used up my bite. Can't get a bite on the jig now. Yeah. That was amazing though. What an amazing deal. I'll be totally honest with you, I could stand here and fish all day. I mean, I can't. I got way too much to do. Swim that bait over that grass. I'm gonna make one throw out now in another direction, just straight out. I'm gonna do that and then I'm gonna quit. I catch a fish or don't catch a fish, I'm gonna quit. Right out there, I'm gonna let her go all the way to the bottom, all the way down to the bottom. And that's gonna be my last cast if I catch one or don't catch one. What an incredible bonus this was to end 2021. I'll remember this the rest of my life for the next 20 years or so. And it's just been an amazing morning that God's given me. Dead calm. Hoping the audio is good. It ought to be. We have no wind. I have no microphone hooked up either. I just wanted to just run down here and make a few casts while Chris was asleep. And doggone, I caught 3 fish in 4 throws. And here I am. I can't get a bite now. I worn the hole out. That's all there is to it. Now these fish will recoup and you'll probably catch them again tomorrow. Some of them won't bite again. Some of them will. Others that didn't bite this morning might bite tomorrow. So, but just amazing. The fish are schooled up in the wintertime. Not a lot of people fish in the wintertime, but they get schooled up. Then the big giants, the double-digit fish, they start suspending. And you can catch them over, all different depths of waters, even 100 foot. And they might not be but 10 foot down. I would like to end this little fishing trip right here this morning with a fish, but I can't get another bite. It's like there's no fish out there. All right, that's gonna wrap it up. Guys and girls, that was a lot of fun. That was just a lot of fun. I mean, a lot of fun. I got the camera pointing down the water instead of pointing to me, but I'm gonna put my rod and reel up. It's just been absolutely outstanding out here this morning. I don't know if I counted right or not. Some of y'all might count along and see if I'm correct or not. Probably not. If I'm off, I'm probably off on the big side. probably caught 15 and counting to 17. But if I'm right, now remember I caught 3 before I turned the video on. So if you're gonna start counting, I caught 3 before I ran up and got the tripod. But remember what I've always said and been saying all my life. You don't make the day, you don't make the week, you don't make the month, you don't make the year. Well, you do make it. I'm sorry. Circumstances don't make it. Circumstances, I just get carried away here and don't know what I'm saying. Circumstances do not make the day or the week or the month or the year. You make it. You make it. You make it whatever you want to, and you can make it good every single day. Even days when you have some of the most dreadful things happen that you could ever imagine. And remember, God's promised us victory, even through death, all through eternity. Guys and girls, go out there and have you a great one today. And remember, golly, I sure do love you.